So what do you do now? The season's over. You're trying to figure things out. I don't have a team. I don't know where I'm playing next year. What should I be doing? Should I be going right back to hockey? Should I be right back on the ice? I don't know. These are the questions everybody has every single season when things end.
It's the most important time of year. You can make strides physically, and it also starts to reveal your habits of how bad you want it. So welcome to the Dialed and Driven Mentality Podcast. I'm host Jeff Lerg alongside Chris Palmer and Natalie Ferenc. So Natalie, when I say those things, what comes to your mind?
Yeah, first thing comes to mind for me is if I don't have a team, what do I do?
Yeah, sometimes that's a gut punch to figure out. Like, you kind of lose your identity, you know, and you wear this jersey and the logo all year long, and then when that last game goes by, you kind of lose that identity. So we get it. There is that feeling, and we know there's many athletes floating around right now with that identical feeling.
Yeah. Well, it's so hard because you were that all season, and now you're coming off a season where people have been getting commitments in November, in December, and it's been months, and you still don't have one. What are you going to do? But it really isn't the end, because seriously, you have an opportunity to have things all the way up into the season. There's people who make decisions over the summer, people who pick people and cut their throat in August and December. So things move. Things are fluid all the time. It may feel like, oh man, I don't have something right now. But the truth is, these teams are fluid. Things move, and they move fast.
I know for me, the thing that I always did, I think we kind of just learned it through habits of the season ended. I always need a little debrief. I mean, I would try to go on vacation right away. That was my first thing, if possible. Or if it's not a real vacation, you vacation from the normal flow of what you've been doing the last 8 to 10 months with your team. You do need that mental breather, that little vacation from what you've had, and gives you that time to have that self-reflection. And that's when you can truly start to identify and ask yourself those important questions of, you know, how did things really go? How do I feel? You know, am I upset? Am I happy? You know, and then what steps do you really need to take to keep chasing your dreams?
It's so hard to get to that, though. It's so hard to get to that because there really is this FOMO feeling. And it's worse than FOMO. These kids have been doing this since they're 2, 3, 4 years old. I mean, just skating from an early age. They didn't do this just to have fun, maybe in the beginning, but it turned into, I want to be like my NHL heroes. And when you want to be that, it's so hard because it's not just something you're doing. It's something you feel like you are. And if you don't have a home, then what are you? It's one of the most terrible identity crisis things you can have. And kids suffer through this all the time. But just please take some peace in knowing this cycle is going to continue all the time. Look at the guys in the NHL. There are guys who seem like they have a great home. I mean, if you look at Tyler Johnson, he was a great hockey player in the Lightning, and he was amazing. And he was this guy that everybody loved. He sold a ton of jerseys, fan favorite guy. And then out of nowhere, okay, sorry, business decision, we're just going to send you to Chicago. No one has complete security, and making some peace with that, knowing that you have things you can control, that changes from I feel awful, I don't know what's going on, to I'm taking steps to control the things I can't control.
And speaking of controlling what you can control, something that always comes up, like right when the season ends, one of the most common questions is, should I work out? What should I do? So I don't know, Natalie, like when you were done after a season, like what was your first thing? Or kind of what was that answer to working out or skating or things of that nature?
Yeah. When I got to high school, I played another sport throughout high school. And coincidentally, it was a spring sport. So right when the hockey season ended, I was all steam ahead focused on my spring sport. So I didn't do any workouts for hockey because I was so busy and time consumed with my spring sport. So honestly, no, I didn't do much hockey workouts, but I would skate once a week, 2 times a month, if that.
Yeah, I love it. That's why you had success.
Yeah.
I hear her say spring sport. What was the sport?
I played lacrosse. So very different endurance because I was a goalie. I played midfield in lacrosse. So I really think that helped me a million times athletically because I go from 4x6 or however big the crease is, the net is, moving as a goalie to sprinting long distance running as a midfielder in lacrosse.
Yeah, that's why you're tough too, for sure. But no, that's awesome cross training. That's exactly it. But that was the best thing is that you were still training without training.
Right.
Exactly. And so that's always my recommendation. And I, kids always need this structured program. Should I get back in the gym or not? It's like, just go be a kid, be an athlete, go play, like take your time off hockey, take a breather. I did the same thing. Like I couldn't wait once the last game was done. I couldn't wait to put the gear away for a bit and just do other things athletically. And of course they're going to help you develop. I mean, we've been preaching that for episode after episode on how cross training and playing other sports really just help you develop as a holistic athlete in general. So obviously, that's why you made it, other sports.
Yeah, and coincidentally, spring break lies right at the end of the season. So if you're a hockey player, your spring break in high school and in college lies pretty much right at the end of the season. So take advantage of that week or however long it is off and kind of just focus on yourself and your personal life.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, we're from Michigan and we know what the Michiganders do. Everyone heads down to Florida.
Yep.
I probably know 50 people down in Florida.
Yeah, exactly.
Right now.
Florida, Mexico.
Yeah, get to the sun, take that little mental debrief. That you have a little time to reflect. And usually when you take your foot off the gas pedal a bit, you come back with a little bit more clarity on what you're chasing.
Absolutely.
Parents out here listening are going, hey, I don't know. I want to give my kid every advantage. And it's true.
Some parents want the sun, though, too.
No, it's true. They definitely want every advantage. Mm-hmm. And one of the hard things is, as a parent, you see your kid with this big dream and you put all this money into this, trying to make it work. It's so hard just to take your foot off the gas and not think, well, we could do skills, we could do something else. And you can, but seriously, it seems like it's easy for us to say this is the thing you should do. In fact, even USA Hockey in their meetings at national camps, they talk to parents about the importance of taking a break, the importance of doing other sports, believe it or not. But it still almost doesn't seem real because the truth is people are doing this year round. And it's really, really hard to take a break. So let me ask you, you're a great example of this. You're one of the most driven humans I've ever met. And you were so into what you did. Even now in your life, you go out and do sprints on a track. Was it so easy for you to take your foot off the gas in the beginning? I know it became a habit for you that worked, but before it was a habit, was it easy for you to just take a break as driven as you were?
It was because I didn't have external pressure. So it was just me. And I really gave everything I had during the season when it mattered most. Like I was all in. There was zero doubts that I was committed and disciplined and focused and wanted it. But at the end of the day, the last game goes by. It doesn't matter if you wake up the next morning wanting it. The season's over. Like you have to learn that skill of like you're all in when it matters, and then when it's time to take a break, you have this little debrief, and then you reset your goals and you re-ante up for the next stage of what's next. And so when that comes up, something that comes up frequently to the athletes and specifically goalies this time of year, questions that come to me are like, how much should I skate if I do play another sport like you, Natalie? Like you didn't skate much.
No.
Right. But you had the I guess I don't want to call it a blessing because you executed, but you were a really good goalie and you had the street cred that, hey, she'll be dialed in when it matters. But most people are still kind of on this in between of like, I don't have a team yet. I'm struggling. Like, should I go to this spring skate or should I go to this lacrosse team game that I have because I'm trying to play other sports and my long-term development is great with other sports. But the short term is, what should I do about this team I'm trying to make? So let me just wrap that up. And the answer that I give is when it's a practice of this extra sport, if you have to miss it, miss it if you're still trying to go to a team tryout. But at the other end of it, if it's just a little skill skate and someone needs to see you, go to your other sport. The long-term game is going to be the better play. And if, coaches, there's many ways you can get them your game film or rely on your references a bit if you have to miss one skill skate because you're playing another sport.
Yeah. I mean, this might not be a very popular opinion, but like I was terrified of burnout from hockey. So I did anything that I thought was right to not feel that burnout or feel like hockey wasn't fun anymore. So I did that with playing other sports or maybe taking my foot off the gas. And something that I saw recently, who we've mentioned a lot recently, is Alyssa Liu. She's the Olympic gold figure skater. When she was asked about her training, something was, if I don't feel like it's a hell yeah, it's a hell no.
I love it.
But I mean, that makes so much sense. Take some peace in this idea. I'm looking at the camera for the guys on YouTube. Think about your career so far and this idea you have. Everybody has this. It is such a feeling of I've got to do more, I've got to do more. And at the top, these guys are doing everything they can to become better. You remember Bedard went into hour and a half shooting sessions on his own to get better when he was in these shooting slumps. So even the guys at the top have to do extra. But there is a breaking point. But think about Alyssa Liu. Think about Simone Biles. Think about people who are at the top of the world who took a year, 2 years off. I mean, seriously, can you imagine taking that kind of time off? You'd freak out. But they took that time off and they came out better than ever because it is such a mental thing. And sometimes the mental affects the physical and they go back and forth. You can take some time to let your body heal, to let your brain have a break, because at some point you're a machine that has the body and the mind, and giving them a break is the healthy thing for you. And there's plenty of proof at the top end of the world that you can do it and thrive.
Well, Chris, you bring up a great point, because many times the athletes don't have the great season or great experience. Like you just named a handful of those premier athletes who had to do a little self-reflection. So when things don't go as expected, like, what do? And almost you gave every answer. It was time off, reflection, and then get back to work. And I think that's a skill that needs to be developed for our youth. Like when you're sitting in the sun in Florida, you might have a little quiet time for a moment to be like, gosh, what went well this year? What didn't go well? Like, was I really committed? Like, did I back check hard when I was supposed to? Were my legs getting tired in the third period? What's the reason? Do I not train hard enough? Like, you got to come to those answers.
That's great. Over and over, you're going to have stuff thrown at you all the time. You're going to see people put stuff on Snap. You're going to see people put stuff on Instagram, and it's going to be so hard not to feel like you have to rush in that direction. But just remember, there are hundreds of thousands of people in your age group playing this around the world all the time. And you're picking the people who are near you to follow and be concerned about. There's a whole group of people doing this, and letting yourself get sucked into this, oh my gosh, this person's doing this or this person's doing that, it's cancer. You have a chance to have something great, but the best chance to do that is for you to really sit down, even if you took a week off, just to sit down on paper. What do I want? What is my game plan? What direction am I going to go? And if you do that, you go on your plan, then you're not bouncing around. The bouncing around's the worst.
And now a message from our sponsor.
Success in sports isn't an accident. It comes from habits and your internal self-belief. I'm Jeff Lerg, a host of this podcast. If you're currently a high school athlete, congratulations, you've made it to the small percentage of athletes who make it into the high school age at a competitive level. Do you want to be that 2% that actually makes it to earn a scholarship at the NCAA level? Well, that's the reason that we created the Dialed and Driven Success Formula, to instill discipline, excellence, and a results-oriented mindset. To learn more, visit dialedandrivenmentality.com. We're excited to announce our partnership with Vaughn Custom Sports, a goalie gear company based right here in Michigan. Vaughn was a part of our journey long before this partnership, with both Natalie and myself wearing the gear in our playing days. We stand behind their craftsmanship and their innovation that they brought to the game for many years. I don't want to keep it all negative, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to look at the positive. Like, identify, where did you grow this season? I know for me, I looked back and I kind of found this little sweet spot that as I started to go through my juniors and my college playing days, I looked back and I kind of looked at when my games were playing at, I guess, a high level. Like stats were good. Like I was just kind of on fire. And I always pinpointed January. Like that was my month. And I think sometimes I'd get those awards at the end of the year or during the year and be like, oh, January goalie of the month, January player of the month. But that was my little sweet spot. But I thought that was a good recipe because I'm peaking for the right time of year. And I think there was something to do with the midseason break in December, kind of coming home, resetting, refocusing on the second half. But you have to have those times of self-reflection, like when did things go really well? How did you handle games against your rival? How did you handle coming back after a bad game? What did you do after a great game? Like you have to start to answer those questions in order for your game to grow.
And coincidentally, your two biggest saves with the Toledo Walleye were in February like 9th and February 14th.
I was trying, thank you. I was trying to peak at the right time. Thanks, Nat. Yeah, you only know that because of the countless
How
hours.
does she know this?
It's my job, social media. That's what I got to know these things.
YouTube's dangerous. It's everything's dated. She's got it. So,
Yep.
But yeah, thank you. Now, maybe if January, February, but you got to find the peak.
Right.
I mean, trust me. I tell these goalies all the time. No one cares if you're the best goalie in July. Like, trust me, I was one of the worst goalies in July because time off, you get out of the rhythm, you got to develop other ways. But I took a lot of pride in being the best goalie in January, February, March, and beyond.
Yeah, so if you want to see some sick saves, look up Jeff Lerg best saves on YouTube.
Yeah, thank you. Also, with my cousin Brian, there was a cool one way back before HD was the thing. Just a blurry.
Michigan State?
Oh, yeah. There's a blurry video of us. You got Lerged. It was the best. It was him scoring, like he had a kind of a patented backhand breakaway move, which now I steal that I do against the goalies.
Yep.
But it was him scoring on a backhand breakaway probably 15 times. And then there was me just buzzing around.
Beautiful.
So all these things that we just discussed really kind of connect into one element. It's that space between the time now and where you want to get to. And then that little answer that must be had of what are you going to do to accomplish that? So that brings us to our dialed in athletes for the week. And Natalie, I'll let you discuss the first one because you're very close friends with our athlete who's been on our show before.
Yeah, Kirsten Sims. She is a good friend of mine, and she was on the show back in June. Mm-hmm. Yeah, June. She came on the podcast, and that was just after about a month after she just won the gold medal for the World Championships with Team USA. And if you remember, she just won gold with Team USA in the World Championships. She talked about end of the season goals. What do I want to accomplish next season? And her biggest thing was, I want to win a back-to-back national championship with the Wisconsin Badgers, who she plays for in college.
Because before she won gold, she won the championship in college.
Right. She had the overtime game-winning goal and the tying goal. So very iconic thing for her. And she also was trying to or getting ready to make the USA Olympic team. So she ended up achieving every single one of those things and won the gold medal. Now, flash forward to recently with Team USA during the Olympics, won a gold medal and did win the national championship and went back-to-back for the Wisconsin Badgers against Ohio State, the same team that they won last year.
They just did. Here's a bullet point. Mm-hmm. National champion last season, scores the tying goal and winning goal. USA women's world champion, sets her goals to say, hey, I want to make the Olympics, and our goal is to go back-to-back with University of Wisconsin.
Right.
So make the team, win the Olympic gold medal with the women, and then go win another national championship.
Yep, like check.
She has more championships and wins than 99.9% of hockey players that have ever existed. So she is dialed.
Yeah,
and we love, you look back at our episode in June, she listed those things though. And Chris, you were kind of prompting her, like, what made you tick? And she's like, I've always wanted it.
You would never know she's that successful when you meet her. You would never know. She's so regular person. Honestly, she could walk in with like the big fur coat and the big hat, right? She's just acting like she's everything. She doesn't do that at all. Like, she is such a normal person. I don't get it. I really don't, because this isn't just doing well. This is insane performance. Like, who has those stats? Honestly, she could just take her foot off the gas and just chill out the rest of her life, right? It's amazing that somebody can do that and have that kind of humility.
Yeah, and speaking of kind of end of the season reflection, like she reflected on her time with USA national team and then Wisconsin Badgers, and immediately was like, this is what's next for me. This is what I'm going to do to train. I'm going to make sure that I make this Olympic team. And just because I'm her good friend, making the Olympic team was a goal of hers from, forever. And she was going to do absolutely everything she possibly could and more to make that dream of hers possible. So it's just really like, are you giving it everything that you possibly can? And she does take breaks, absolutely, but she's also absolutely dialed when it matters.
Yeah, that's why we bring her up. She's the definition, dialed and driven. And then another story that came to my mind as we kind of put some of these thoughts together in the off season is really, it's that emotion that comes after the last loss of the year. That is like the worst feeling that an athlete has. It's tears, it's frustration, it's just disappointment. And the one major story that I remember a handful of years ago, this Nathan McKinnon, Colorado Avalanche player, he was at the podium, I think it was 2021, 22, somewhere in that time, and they had just lost again in the second round. They were the top team in the league, so then for 4 or 5 years in a row, they were first round knockout, second round knockout. Couldn't get past the next hurdle. And he kind of snapped when he was on the podium, like, I'm sick of this. I've been in the league for 9 years and I haven't accomplished anything. I'm paraphrasing. There's a few more swear words. So he more or less got to the point of like, you'll see me as the most motivated, dedicated player next year. We're going to get past this. And then he called his shot. Next year, fast forward, they win the Stanley Cup, led the league in the playoffs in goals, led the playoffs in shots per game. He had almost like 6 shots a game. He's just a machine. So absolute, like, called his shot, felt the emotion of it. And then when you look at the stories and things from his teammates and coaches, they're like, yeah, this guy is wild. And he got the job done for us.
Yeah. And I can assure you he's probably now, well, what's next for him? Because that's another question. Like right now, referring back to Kirsten, her next thing is the PWHL draft. So getting ready for that. So I can assure you Colorado wants another cup because they're doing pretty good this season, aren't they?
They've been really good, for the handful of years. And he's obviously a marquee player in the league. So you look at how they got to those success points with Kirsten, a little reflection with Nathan McKinnon, like right after the game, just feeling that disappointment and emotion because he knows how much he put into it. And it sucks when you have that feeling like you give everything you can and you come up short. So we want our athletes to recognize that, like feel that emotion and then go take action. Don't sit on your phone and sulk about it. Go out and do something.
So the whole thing today should be pretty obvious. You're in this spot all the time where you have to figure out what's next. You don't realize that, but that's every day of your life. You have a choice of what to do. Are you going to go for the things you want? Or are you going to let yourself get distracted by the things around you? And especially now it's so hard because you're in this position where you have to figure out what's next. Even if you have a commitment, you know that there are guys who've had their commitments pulled away. So decide on your plan. And if you don't know what your plan is, get with people you trust. Get with your coaches. Get with your friends. Get with your parents. The people who have guided you. Look at all that. Figure out what is the path for you. Where do you want to go? And commit to that. But please, take a break. 24-hour a day, 12-month a year does not make sense. You have to find some way to bring your battery back to charge. So please, listen to these pieces. People at the top of the world do these things. They take breaks and things work out fine. In fact, things work out better than fine. Take a break, recharge, figure out your path, do the things that make sense for you. Enjoy your time.
Finalize all those thoughts to our athletes. Just understand what the off season is. It's 3 things. It's a time to recover and reflect. You want to see what took place this year. Check your body, check your mind. It's a time to make decisions. What do you need to do to get to that next level or accomplish your goals? And it's a time where you can really build that self-identity. And if you weren't a disciplined athlete during the year or last off season, it's a time to take that discipline and build it to go out and accomplish your goals and build your strong self-identity. So with all those points, take advantage of your off season, go out and what I call go out and build Rome. That means take one step at a time and accomplish the goals that you set out to be. So as a reminder, stay dialed and driven on our goals, as that's the only way to accomplish success.
And that concludes today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard, please give us a like, leave us a review, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. But most importantly, we would love for you to sign up to our free newsletter. Visit our website, Dialed and Driven Mentality. See you next week.